Imagine two people, both earn the same salary. But after 5 years, one buys an apartment and starts a business, while the other keeps complaining about life and borrowing money until payday. What's the difference? In 6 major mistakes, which I'm about to reveal. The Talmud says, poverty begins in the mind before it reaches the pocket. A warning, this truth might sting, but better a bitter truth that sets you free than a sweet lie that keeps you poor. The 6th mistake is the most painful one. Mistake 1, you spend everything you earn. A poor man once came to a rabbi. I earn 100 coins and spend 100 coins. Why am I not getting richer? The rabbi replied, and where is your 101st coin? That's the essence. The Talmud says, do not eat all 7 loaves, save one for tomorrow. Rule number 1, from every income, set aside at least 10% first. Not what's left over. First, you get your paycheck. Immediately put 10% aside. But I barely make ends meet. Poor people are short 100% of their expenses. Rich people are short 90%. The difference is, the rich get used to living on 90% and investing the rest. Jewish merchants always set aside Maser, the tithe. It was a law of survival. Wealth doesn't begin when you earn a lot. It begins when you spend less than you earn. Mistake 2, you work only for money instead of creating assets. Jewish wisdom says, do not be a slave to money. Make money your slave. What do you do with your money? Buy a new phone, a car, clothes? Those are liabilities. They take money away. Assets are what bring in money while you sleep. Dividend-paying stocks, rental property, a business that runs without you, education that increases your value, intellectual property. Wealthy Jews always invested in assets. Even when they were exiled, they invested in their children's education. The only asset no one can ever take away. Every time you buy something, ask yourself, is this a liability or an asset? If it's a liability, think 3 times before buying. Mistake 3, you live on credit. King Solomon said, the borrower is a slave to the lender. A loan for an iPhone, a vacation, a car. You become a slave. Jewish rule. If you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it once. Credit is justified only for things that generate income, education, business, but never for consumption. Mistake 4, you're afraid to learn financial literacy. In Jewish families, money is not a taboo topic. Children are taught from a young age to count, save, and invest. In many other cultures, it's the opposite. It's impolite to talk about money. Money is dirty. The result? Financial ignorance. Do you know what compound interest is? Inflation, diversification. The difference between an asset and a liability? No. There's your reason for poverty. The Talmud says, ignorance is the most expensive thing of all. Start learning today. Books, podcasts, videos. Investment in knowledge pays dividends for life. Mistake 5. You're surrounded by the wrong people. The Talmud says, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. What's their financial level? What do they talk about? If your friends complain about life, gossip, or spend their last money on alcohol, guess where you are headed? The Jewish community was strong because of community. The successful associated of the successful and learned from each other. Rich people surround themselves with those who are smarter and more accomplished. They seek mentors. They pay for mentorship. Poor people fear the successful. They were just lucky. They had connections. That's not for me. Action step. Make a list of 5 successful people. Find a way to meet them. Learn from them. And limit your contact with toxic people who drag you down. Mistake 6. Your partner is financially illiterate. The most painful mistake of all. King Solomon said, "He who finds a good wife finds favor, but a bad one is like decay in his bones." The same applies to husbands. Listen carefully. You can own a business, give tithes, invest, study. But if your husband or wife takes money from the savings for nonsense, spends endlessly on, "I want this," doesn't understand the difference between an asset and a liability, believes money is meant to be spent, throws tantrums at the word saving, then you will never become rich. Never. The Talmud tells a story. A wealthy merchant went bankrupt. A sage asked, "What changed?" The merchant replied, "I got married." "To whom?" "To a beautiful woman who spends faster than I earn." The sage said, "Beauty will fade, but poverty will remain." Jewish tradition teaches, before you marry, find out how a person treats money. That's more important than looks, more important than romance. Because 90% of divorces happen because of money. So, the 6 major mistakes are: you spend everything instead of saving 10%. You buy liabilities instead of assets. You live in debt, becoming a slave to banks. You fear learning, financial ignorance. You surround yourself with toxic, unsuccessful people. You have a financially illiterate partner, an anchor pulling you down. Wealth is not an accident. It's the result of the right decisions, repeated every day. Remember the words of Rabbi Nachman, "The whole world is a narrow bridge. The main thing is not to be afraid." If you liked this video, like it, share it with those who need to hear this, and write in the comments which country and city you're watching from. Let's see how far our message spreads.